Ryan Ouellette. I own and pierce at Precision Body Arts in Nashua, New Hampshire. I've been piercing for about 20 years. I've owned my studio since 2000. Primarily a body piercer. I also do some scarification, and I'm currently serving on the board of directors for the Association of Professional Piercers as the outreach coordinator. Well, the main purpose of APP outreach is just spreading the message of health and safety. So there are lots of piercers out there who don't know certain things that they really should know. There are some clients who don't know how to find a safe piercer. All that falls under outreach. You're educating pretty much everybody you can, but you have to kind of focus your message depending on what group you're speaking with. The position changes so much and is constantly evolving that there isn't really one hard to find thing of what outreach is, because I feel like all the different facets of the board all have their own form of outreach. So the membership committee has outreach to try to grow membership. So they're constantly staying active in piercer forums and different publications like The Point or like Pain Magazine, trying to generate new membership applications. But then you have the legislation committee, and they're trying to reach out to health inspectors and getting them more interested in like progressive ideas about body piercing regulations and safety and health. And then as far as like outreach, that's probably the most generic form of outreach that we have for the APP, because it's kind of like a catch-all. It can be social media, it can be a conference, it can be trying to get new piercers to come to our conference, but it can also be trying to get new clients into member studios. So it's constantly evolving. We've really refined our message to just the right information for different categories of people. The biggest deal is people taking the time to search out that information, whether it's going to our Instagram page or going to our website or reading an issue of The Point, something like that. So that's the most important thing, is that there are people out there who care enough about safe piercing to want to educate themselves with our outreach material. The thing about the board is it's kind of self-driven. The person in the position tends to kind of mold it to what their interpretation of the job title is. So for me, for outreach, it's mostly just about communicating with potential clients, educating them about what the APP is and especially what the APP isn't, giving them general information about things like jewelry, sterilization, safety, things like that, and anything else that might come up. Outreach has changed a lot over the years. There have been points where it's been outreach to the medical community or health inspectors, but it evolves. But my personal interest is trying to outreach to uneducated clients. With outreach, I would like to do things that really haven't been done before. There have been lots of experiments about working at tattoo conventions and working at health conferences, and limited or mixed results. So I would like to try new media projects, PSA videos and podcasts and just different media that people are already interested in, and maybe get a better exposure that way. I've seen a lot of different changes in the APP, like over my career and then over my like direct involvement with the APP. When I started in the 90s, I knew the APP existed and I knew it was a resource, but I didn't really know what the resources were. And then as I started going to conference and I started to see all the work that's done behind the scenes, I could see that split of, okay, these are the people that are maybe a little bit stuck up and they're trying to hold on to their personal fame at the cost of maybe the advancement of the industry. And then as that generation slowly started to move out of instructing classes and kind of started to retire or change their dynamic in their own studios to bring in newer piercers beneath them, that generation of piercers started to come in and they started teaching the classes and getting on the board of directors. And there's been a huge difference in just how, like you said, how open the information is. It's less about like, this is our gang, if you want to get into the gang, you have to try really hard. Now it's like, please join our team. We want everyone to be at this level. We don't want to be elitists and try to have some like amazing piercers and then like the people that are kind of struggling to learn new information. We want everybody to have access to that information and be able to do the most that they possibly can with it.